Strap yourselves in. We're in for a bumpy ride here, guys. If you are new to our channel, make sure you are subscribing. Smash the likes, more importantly, to help me out. And comment your thoughts on Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. That was absolutely shocking. Like, diabolical. Some of the stuff that we are actually doing is like 7-year-old football. I just cannot get my head around what I'm seeing from this Aston Villa side. I can hold my hands up and say, yes, I've looked to see the best in certain situations, in certain games, but I'm starting to get a little bit worried about what I'm seeing. And it's the players, it's the manager, it's a collective of a bit of everything that's making me feel like we're in a bit of a mess. And I don't see how it's going to get any better, because the fruits of where it could potentially get better in the international break, where we could have had a collective look, we could have tweaked stuff, we could have changed our approach, we could have tactically done something different. We haven't done it. We are rinse and repeat. We are the same formation every single week, no matter what. Lots mentioned it. Glasner's mentioned it. I go back to the start of the game where I saw the two lineups and I looked at Chelsea and I thought, hold on a minute. They've got Cucurella, they've got Colwill, and they've got Fofana. Where's the other defender? They played Caicedo at right back and had him inverting into central midfield with Lavia. They pushed Enzo further forward. They played with Neto and Sancho. Palmer in the middle with Jackson. It was a different formation, different personnel, a slight tweak to their system. You know, last game against Leicester, they saw Cucurella going forward down that wing. Yeah, Fofana tucked in a little bit. But to go with Caicedo and Lavia in the middle, a tactical tweak, which was really good for Maresca and really brave. And game on game, you're seeing tactical flexibility, fluidity between who he's playing. And then you start to see the Villa formation, and it is the exact same formation that we play every week. We're doing the same thing, the same players. Well, not the same players, because I have no idea why Philogene has played. Because you go back to it and you think, from a Villa perspective, and fair play to Chelsea, from a Villa perspective, you're thinking, Bailey's starting to play better. We're starting to get better performances out of Bailey. And what do? We put him on the bench. Why is Bailey on the bench today? Why is Leon Bailey on the bench? I don't understand. I do not understand. You can say we've played Champions League football. You look at the lineup Liverpool are playing against Man City today. Salah's starting. He played against Real Madrid. Diaz is starting. He played against Real Madrid. Robertson played against Real Madrid. Van Dijk played against Real Madrid. Why are we playing players out of form again? We've already seen this with Duran, who was coming off the bench, bagging goals, looking really good. We're playing completely out of form. And now we're asking him off the bench to come on and start producing what he was doing when he was in a bit of form. So from that perspective, you know, even to start the game, you've got a fluid, exciting, youthful team that has been switched up tactically. And you've got Villa 4-4-2, exactly the same, rocking up at Stamford Bridge. So that is already where I've got a bit of a problem. I just don't understand Philogene starting. We'll get on to Philogene in a second as well. We start the game quite brightly in our possession, knocking it around quite nicely. But there was one moment where I thought, not quite the right approach there. And it was when Philogene had a bit of a tackle in the Chelsea half up against Cucurella. And Cucurella just showed me within that moment that we were in big trouble. Because the one thing about Cucurella this season, he's brilliant. He's probably one of the best left backs in the league at the minute because he's tenacious, he's hungry, he's fighting, he's got quality, his tactical awareness is good. And when I saw him go up against Philogene and Philogene ducked a little challenge and looked a little bit light, I thought, we got problems here. And it was epitomised with the first goal because Philogene's touch at the edge of the box was far too weak. It was far too lackluster. Cucurella, on the other hand, wanted that ball more than what Philogene did. And then they get played in and Jackson scores a goal and we are in big trouble in about the 7th minute. Now, my approach on the match preview with Earl this week was, and some of you picked up on it, it was very cautious. It was very cautious because I knew deep down what was about to happen here. We were cautious and we spoke about how good Chelsea were. We spoke about how good Villa had got to be because this performance and result was slightly expected. Now, I'll go back to when Unai first came in. Maybe not when he first came in, but as he was getting into sort of a year in. And what we'd say on this channel quite a lot was, we know that we will give every team a game, and we know that Unai will have a plan for every single team that we come up against. Now, this is starting to evaporate for me. This believing that we can beat anybody. Last season, I honestly believed that you could put any team in front of me and I believe that we could beat them. And now I go into a game week and I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to beat them and whether we're going to be able to get a point from it. And that's showing how I feel as a fan. What are those players feeling like? Because I'm not so sure that we have got the right mentality at this moment in time, especially in the Premier League. So that's the first thing. We then have a bit of a moment where Ollie Watkins is clean through and he should absolutely bury that chance that he has. And he doesn't. So that would have been 1-1. And we could grow into a game and we don't do that. And he's just got to bury it. How many chances is he having now? Spurs had to bury that chance today. Had to bury that chance. And we're not doing it. We got into a good moment. And then one of the most comical. I mean, it's comical. It's laughable. It's going to be clipped up everywhere. And it epitomises our defending. We've already had an absolute shit show against Club Brugge. And we've had another one today where Pau Torres has touched it. He's knocked it back to Martinez. I don't care what anyone says on this. He's knocked it back to Martinez and Martinez has picked it up. It is comical. Anybody that knows the rules of football, it's just, I can't catch my breath at how naive we are. Do we just think that the ref's not going to give something, or do we just think that we can just amble around? And it all feels to me like it just epitomises what we are at the minute. Oh, just knock it back to you, Martinez, and you can just pick it up, maybe. Yeah, I'll pick it up. Honestly, is it that we're just not intense enough? Because when you watch us and you understand the Unai Emery possession-based football of control, and it's slow. I'll admit that it's slow, but is this seeping into everything that we are? Where's the urgency? Where's the fight? Where's the desire? Where's the hunger? We've been absolutely bullied against Chelsea. Watkins has been bullied. Philogene's been bullied. Kamara was bullied. Tielemans was bullied. Every single player has been absolutely bullied against a Chelsea player today. And that's not good enough. These performances aren't good enough. Martinez passes it straight to Jackson. What are we doing? He's literally just passed it straight to him. I can't. That first half, Villa fans, was an absolute disaster. I just don't understand why we go from looking really defensively intense against Juventus to coming out here and we're just useless. It's really frustrating. Palmer finds Fernandez 2-0. And then Philogene has another decent half chance where we play some good football and Digne knocks it to Philogene. Philogene has a shot that goes straight back to Digne. And yeah, it's just not good enough. And then one of the biggest things that shows how poor we were in the first half was when we were through on the right-hand side with Philogene. And he tries to slip in Watkins. And he just passes it straight to a Chelsea player. Not good enough. Not good enough from any of them. There's not one player in that first half that showed anything. So we go into half time, 2-0, right? And this is where I've also got a massive problem. The second half wasn't as bad as the first half. Technically, footballing wise, mistake wise, but mentality wise, it was. Because we're only at 2-0. Why are we just happy to sit back on a 2-0 at Stamford Bridge? We're 2-0 down. And that second half felt like we were happy to see it out at 2-0. One goal can change a game. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. You get yourself back in that game and it's 2-1 and you've got momentum. Because second half Chelsea, you can tell their foot was off the gas. They just sort of thought, do you know what, we've got this easy, lads. Why can't we step on it and be more aggressive? Why are we waiting with substitutions? Philogene off at half time. Straight off at half time. It should have been Bailey on at half time. It should have been Duran on at half time. Probably someone on in the middle at half time. You could have even brought Matson on at half time. And we're just waiting. Consas, second half, little flick thing that he does. Jackson through. Olsen, great save. The only player that comes out of that with a bit of light for me is probably Olsen. Olsen made a good save in that second half. We had a header from Barkley, good save. And another player that, for me, comes out of it in a decent way is Duran. Because Duran was telling the team to push higher up, be more aggressive, push a little bit. Whereas everyone else is just ambling around Stamford Bridge like there's no... Oh, damn, man. Look, you sit having a kick about with the lads. I'm sorry, but that was absolute disgusting to watch. And I'm always really positive. But I'm starting to see some things that I just don't like. And it's just not good enough. You know, Emery's got to mix it up a bit. He's got to tweak the system. He's got to change something. We cannot go from now until the end of the season playing the same formation. It's been found out. Because if you know how we're going to play as an opposition manager, like I'm just a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a content. I like football tactics. I like looking how the game works. But if I'm Maresca and I'm setting that team up on Friday and I'm thinking, right, Villa, 4-4-2, let's pick holes in this system. And what does he do? I'll put Caicedo at right back. He can tuck inside a little bit. I'll keep my back three. I'll play with two wingers out wide. And he solved us. He's found a way. But we're just rocking up being like, yeah, it was the same. If we play how my vision works and my control works, and Rodgers has a good game, Watkins buries some chances, McGinn presses well, then we can win the game. But we're not Man City. This is what my big thing about our system is. Man City, when they're good, can play the same way every single week because their players are far superior than any other teams. So they can get themselves out of trouble because they've got quality. Their system's so fluid because their players are better than everybody else. But we can't afford to do that because our players aren't better than everybody else is in the league. When you come up against an opposition, you have to be able to find a way of doing something different. Like when we put McGinn on Dan Burn at Villa Park and we absolutely ran through Newcastle. Those little tactical tweaks of moving someone round for a little game plan. We don't do that anymore. We just rock up 4-4-2 and just play. That's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work, whether we're good or not. So there's just big problems, and I can't see how it's gonna improve. I mean, now I'm already thinking about Visa and Embuemo on transition against us at Villa Park on Wednesday. We are going to absolutely get torn to shreds against them. They are going to rip straight through us. It is going to happen. You are going to be watching Villa and you will see Embuemo or Visa run from the halfway line with the ball, tearing down our goal. Because that's how we play. We will do the same thing at Villa Park on Wednesday. And it's just rinse and repeat, If we all turn up and play well, we'll probably win. But how far away are we from doing that? How fragile are we starting to be now? There needs to be someone in this team now who's going in on them and raising the levels, raising the standards. But I don't know who that is in the dressing room. Because I went into this game today fearing that we were probably going to lose. And the best thing we could have done was get a draw. And that shouldn't be good enough for where we are and what the aspirations of this team is. We might not be the finished article. We might not be the best team going. But we are a far better team than what we are showing at the minute. And it's not fair to just blame the players. I think Emery has to be involved in this criticism as well. Because it's not just the players, it's collectively a bit of everything. Like, why can't we defend? Defensive stats this season: XG against, 19th in the league; clean sheets, 20th; save ratio, 18th. Why is the defense so bad? The defense is absolutely shocking. It's just not good. I mean, those are underlying stats, so those show that deep down beneath the surface, there is a defensive problem there. And I think firing up top, we've got a big problem there as well because Watkins can't finish his chances. So if Watkins can't finish his chances, Duran needs to start games for Villa. It's got to be as simple as that. Surely we can see what Watkins brings to the team. We can see what Watkins does when he presses. That's fine, but he's also in the team to finish chances. And that one today at 1-0 down was a massive chance for Villa, and we fumbled it. So I'm just really disappointed. I'm just really disappointed. I just don't know what I just really don't know what we're doing, to be fair. I'm a little bit sort of I mean, let's have a look on SofaScore at how we've played today. We'll get it up now. Right, so we'll have a look at the formation and what's gone on there as well. So I'll share the screen now for you. So what you'll see is how deep we were. So with Chelsea pushing us back with their front five, they're playing with the front five. We know that they play with the 3-2-5. We can see that from this image. And what their front five are doing are pushing us back further deeper. Now, the obvious threat that we had today was to go in behind more. Because if you look at the Chelsea formation, the front five, number 7, 20, 15, 8, and 19, 2 in the middle, Caicedo, the right back, 25, going into midfield, 45, Lavia, and 3 at the back. Space in behind Caicedo, space in behind Cucurella. That was where we had to do the damage. We had to bypass the front five, and we had to, on transition, hurt Chelsea. The moments that we did get in, we missed our chances. So that was poor from us. So we did get into the areas that we needed to get into. We didn't finish our chance in the biggest moment. But we just needed to be better. I mean, let's have a look at the momentum bar. The momentum bar today. Nothing. No threat, nothing. Chelsea won't have an easier game than this all season. 36% possession. Didn't lay a glove on them. XG 1.15. So that was the Watkins chance. 1.61 for Chelsea. We had 10 shots. Possession. Let's have a look at passing. How many passes did we make? Passes we made 292. They made 558. I will not have an easier game all season. So, Villa fans, I'd love to know your thoughts. I imagine you're all going to be very annoyed and as annoyed as me. But I just can't believe that drop off from what we do good to what we're doing now. Like this reminds me. This performance reminds me of all of the performances that I've seen in my lifetime as a Villa fan. It's a McLeish performance. It's a Lambert performance. It's a Steven Gerrard performance. It's one of those where we're starting to amble towards a certain place where long-standing viewers will know that I use this quote at times, but it's like when one plays bad, they all play bad. We're starting to get back to that. You know, when like every player's as bad as everyone else, there's not one of them that's stepping up and dragging, and 3 or 4 go with that player. They all start turning round and feeling sorry for each other and losing duels. And as soon as a goal goes in, you know, it's like I always feel like we start games pretty well. because we've got this ability to sometimes shut out what's happened before. And we get on the ball, we start playing quite well, we knock it about a bit, we look quite bright in the early stages. And when a team sees through that and sees past it and gets an opportunity, we start to relinquish territory and our position gets deeper, and we just look off it. And that's exactly what we've become. You know, I wanna see that inner Unai Aston Villa desire coming through now. Something that he has built his philosophy on at Aston Villa. And I'm just not seeing it. Where's a player today at 2-0 down in that second half that got that game by the scruff of the neck and started to just drag everyone up the pitch with him? Because that should have happened today at 2-0 down. But we just thought, meh, it's 2-0. Could be worse. We could lose 4 or 5 here. So that's just where I'm at. Like, I'm really annoyed, really frustrated. I imagine there's a lot of you fuming. I imagine the comment section's going to go off because rightly so. And yeah, you can't polish a turd, can you? So what can you be positive? Well, where are the shoots of positivity coming from? Because they've now got to show me this positivity. There's got to be a performance. There's got to be a victory. It's okay looking at things and being like, yeah, but we're in the Champions League. Yeah, we're keeping clean sheets in the Champions League. Yeah, but Unai's shown that we can. No, we need to see it now, because we're at a risky situation now, right? Let's be serious of this whole thing falling apart, because we got 2 home games coming up now, and if we don't win any of them, we're in a bit of a mess. So we got to fix up quickly, and Unai has got to tweak this system and change something, because this 4-4-2 every single week with the same players, it's not working. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Up the Villa.